What are the bars to showing good moral character for naturalization? I'm Eric Widman. I'm an immigration lawyer, and USCIS requires that you show good moral character if you're going to become a US citizen. And so some of us, though none of us are perfect, might have a hard time meeting the minimum standards, either on a temporary basis or even on a permanent basis. So USCIS factors in that everybody makes mistakes, but only certain issues rise to the level of being a temporary bar to citizenship. Those are known as conditional bars. If you have committed a crime or some other act that is so bad that it rises to the level of a permanent bar, sadly, you're unable to show good moral character ever, and therefore qualify to naturalize. So let's look at some of the conditional bars first. And there are several categories here. And if you are naturalizing on the basis of your marriage to a US citizen, then the statutory period of good moral character is 3 years rather than 5 years. If you're naturalizing on the basis of your own qualifications, not your marriage to a US citizen, you have to show good moral character for a 5-year statutory period. So the general categories here of conditional bars to showing good moral character, first one is one or more crimes involving moral turpitude, a CIMT as it's known. And there is a petty offense exception there, but just so you know, crime involving moral turpitude would temporarily disqualify you for the good moral character requirement to naturalize. Here are some other interesting ones. This is not a complete list. These are key things to watch out for. So the next one I have down here, false testimony under oath. So if you are lying under oath, you're committing a falsehood of some kind, stating something that's incorrect, you could get hit with this and you're unable to naturalize for that particular period of time. And that, if that falls within the statutory period, 3 or 5 years. Smuggling a person is also a conditional bar, as is polygamy, gambling, serious issue there. It has to be an offense related to gambling. If you're a habitual drunkard, finally, on my list, 2 or more convictions for a DUI can all result in conditional bars to showing good moral character to allow you to naturalize. So again, those are deemed to be less serious than certain other really egregious crimes that are permanent bars. And so USCIS will give you an opportunity to show that that mistake's behind you and put together a essentially resume for USCIS, put together a track record of your good acts, staying out of trouble, paying your taxes, being a good permanent resident that will then allow you to establish good moral character for the required statutory period. But if you've committed one of these crimes that falls into the category of a permanent bar, you're sadly not eligible to ever become a US citizen. So these are bad crimes. Murder. Next, an aggravated felony, which can be rather tricky to define. So if your conviction happened prior to November 1990, it may not fall under the aggravated felony category. So that's when the law changed. You'll have to dig deep to confirm if you are subject to the permanent bar or not. Look into the law, talk to a lawyer to determine this. But these categories, these examples that are not exhaustive, but here, these examples are aggravated felonies if committed after 1990. Maybe before too, but you just have to double check. Okay, rape, trafficking in controlled substances, crimes of violence, pornography, prostitution, tax evasion of an amount over $10,000. That is something those of you who are white collar workers should watch out for in particular: illegal reentry of a previously removed aggravated felon, passport or document fraud, bribery, counterfeiting, forgery. These are all deemed to be aggravated felonies and are a permanent bar to naturalization. Here's two other main categories of the permanent bar. Some heavy duty stuff here for today's video: persecution, genocide, torture, permanent bars. And finally, number 4 for the permanent bar categories, particularly severe violations of religious freedom. And so if someone is being tortured, someone is being having a prolonged detention without charges due to that person's religion, that also falls into a permanent bar. So these are really heinous things that an applicant for U.S. citizenship will not be able to overcome. Again, heavy duty topics, a lot of detail, but that's a general overview to help you navigate if you are eligible or not. Let us know if you have any questions, and definitely take care.